Investigators call it a dangerous road in Montgomery County, and today it was the scene of a crash they say killed one person and injured two more.
Heavy rain producing showers and thunderstorms, setting the stage for some tropical downpours on the way, courtesy of Tropical Storm Bill. The full forecast in just a few.
Why starting next week you'll need to show a photo ID to buy certain types of cough medicines at Kentucky stores.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 6.
A horrible scene on a busy Montgomery County road. Tonight we're learning new details about a deadly crash. It happened this afternoon on Highway 11 just north of Mount Sterling. Police say a car and a truck collided head-on.
Investigators say that one person died, two others were rushed to the hospital. Our officer Don flew over that scene, shooting this video from Sky First. Garrett Weimer just received an update from investigators. He has the latest in our top story at 6.
Kentucky 11 is now back open, but it was closed for about 3 hours after a head-on crash that killed a man. Officer Don flew over the crash scene in Sky First shortly after it happened, showing just how violent the crash was. Montgomery County Sheriff Fred Shortridge says it was about 1 o'clock when a truck on Kentucky 11 crossed the center line and hit a car head-on. The two people inside the truck were taken to the hospital, but the man inside the car was pronounced dead at the scene. It all happened right in front of the Judy's store near the drive-in. Sheriff Shortridge says it's a common spot for crashes.
Yeah, I mean, this gentleman that was driving the day, he was in his lane. The truck, for some reason, crossed over and struck him head-on. You know, I mean, how do you avoid that? You know, I mean, you get up in the morning, you want to go to town, you expect to come back home. Somebody crosses your center lane, hits you head on, you know, it's not your fault, you know.
Kentucky State Police were also here on scene helping with accident reconstruction. But again, the highway now back open and the scene is clear. In Montgomery County, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Investigators say it's too early to tell if alcohol or drugs were a factor in that crash. We're also tracking the investigation into a deadly crash in Madison County. It happened about 1:30 this afternoon on Union City Road north of Richmond. The Madison County coroner says a motorcycle and a pickup collided. He says the man riding the motorcycle died at the scene. That man's name has not been released. The road was closed after the crash, but it has since reopened.
Another round of strong storms has fired up across Kentucky tonight, and like last night, they're packed with heavy rain and dangerous lightning. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what he's tracking on the First Alert Defender. And Chris, you've been tracking this in Louisville right now.
Yeah, we've actually been watching it, Jennifer, as it made its way across southern Indiana toward Louisville. It's eastbound along Interstate 64 as of now, and it's producing some at least small hail and some minor wind damage across downtown Louisville right now. We look at live First Alert Defender, and what we are seeing now is just a little scattered stuff across most of central and eastern Kentucky. Had some earlier complexes of thunderstorms to our south, but we're going to focus again on this little complex that is trying to jet out in front of the overall line that may have some damaging winds with that, heading through the eastern side of Jefferson County, folks in Shelbyville, down into the sections of Taylor County, Spencer County, I should say, getting in on some of that too. The overall track on this over the next hour will take that across right on top of I-64 and toward the Frankfort area, northern parts of Anderson County, if it can hold together with the same intensity. Just to the south of that, thunderstorms are cranking here north of E-Town, not too far away from Bardstown, Lexington Metro right now. Not a whole lot going on. Tropical skies are out there, and we have the very moist atmosphere. It's unstable, so it's not going to take much to get in on another round or two of some strong storms this evening. Southeastern Kentucky, a little spotty storm here or there. Overall trend, though, will be for the storms to our west to come rolling on into central and eastern Kentucky as the evening wears on. Then we start to focus our attention on a big-time ramp up in tropical activity, courtesy of what is left over of Tropical Storm Bill. Guys, this storm is still spinning across parts of the Dallas, Texas area. We'll show you when that arrives in Kentucky and what it means for the weekend forecast in a few minutes.
Police tell us it might have been intended as a prank, but it ended with 2 men in the hospital and another in jail. The Scott County Sheriff's Office charged Daniel Blackburn with DUI and wanton endangerment, among other charges. Investigators say a passenger in his SUV leaned out a window, causing his head to hit the head of someone walking along a road. Sean Moody has the story.
The sheriff said he was surprised no one was hurt more seriously. He said the passenger on that SUV smashed his face into the back of the pedestrian's head. Now the two of them are in the hospital and the driver of the SUV is in jail.
We see people live through things that you would think there's no way they can live through it, and we've seen people die that probably should have never died.
The sheriff said things could have gone a lot differently last night. He said Daniel Blackburn and another man were in an SUV driving along US 25, and the passenger noticed some people he knew walking along the shoulder. He said the man wanted to reach out and smack one of them as they passed, but it didn't go as planned.
It appears the driver did veer that way. The passenger was actually hanging out of the window, at which point the passenger's face made contact with the back of the victim's head.
The sheriff said both the passenger and the pedestrian were hurt. According to an arrest citation, a deputy said Blackburn kept going and dropped the passenger off behind the Sonic restaurant near the hospital. Emergency crews rushed the pedestrian to UK hospital. Both of them are expected to recover. A deputy pulled Blackburn over later. He said Blackburn admitted drinking 4 tall boy beers, and he said there was a lot of blood in the passenger seat of the SUV. Blackburn faces charges of DUI, leaving the scene of an accident, wanton endangerment, and failure to maintain insurance. Now, investigators say Blackburn blew a .233 on that breath test. The sheriff said he is under 21, so the legal limit would be .02. In Scott County, Sean Moody, WKYT.
The sheriff said his investigators will meet with the county attorney to discuss whether the passenger will face charges.
A rough start to the day for nearly 24 people in Winchester. Police say after stepping outside their homes, these people realized that thieves had stolen some valuable things from their cars. And now police are warning other drivers about this string of car break-ins. Jordan Valines is tracking the investigation tonight.
We started receiving calls early in the morning when people were getting ready to go to work.
One call after another and another.
We see car break-ins, but this is a pretty big hit all at once.
Nearly 24 vehicles in the Holiday Hills and Windridge Drive area rummaged through by thieves. 6 of the cars had electronics, even firearms stolen out of them.
We're dealing with firearms or electronic devices that may have personal information on them. You know, it's a felony to steal a firearm. So we've got 3 different felonies right now because we got 3 different victims that had handguns taken.
Police say it wasn't only cars parked on the street that were broken into, it was also cars parked in people's own driveways within these neighborhoods. That's why police say that this shows just how important it is to lock your car no matter where you park it. Due to the high volume of vehicles that were hit, police believe these thieves weren't working alone, but as a group walking from car to car, checking the door handles to see if they were locked, and if not, rifling through to see what they could get.
We believe that they were on foot because they just spread the stuff that they didn't want all over the yards.
Police tell us since they don't have any witnesses in this case, they're hoping someone will come forward so that they can catch these thieves red-handed. In Winchester, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
Winchester police tell us at this time they do not have any suspects in the case. In Lexington, police say some burglars broke into cars belonging to Lexington Legends players. It happened overnight outside Whitaker Bank Ballpark. Police have not said what was stolen from the cars. The team is on a road trip right now. Team leaders say they're still trying to assess the damage to the cars.
Tonight, Richmond police have an alert about a computer scam. They say a woman told them someone claiming to be from Dell Computers called her and told her updates needed to be done to her computer. She said the caller gave her some information about her computer, which wasn't accurate, and asked her to open her computer so he could access it. The woman refused and hung up. Police say Dell Computers told them they do not make these kinds of calls.
We have some new information tonight about a former Whitley County judge facing drug charges. Court workers now say that Jason Price's trial in Whitley County has been set for October 28th. Price was also an attorney in that area. Williamsburg police arrested him earlier this year after a year-long investigation. Police say they arranged a meeting between a source and Price. They say during that meeting, Price agreed to take 15 oxycodone pills as payment for legal services. Many of us turn to them for relief when we get a cold, but buying some over-the-counter cough medicine soon will not be as easy at stores in Kentucky.
A new law takes effect next week that restricts how much of those medicines you can buy. As Sam Smith tells us, supporters of the law hope it will keep people from using cough medicine to get high.
Abusing dextromethorphan is something that has gained a lot of momentum in the last couple years.
Chris Palutis of CNC Pharmacy and Kentucky lawmakers have taken notice when House Bill 24 takes effect on Wednesday. minors will not be allowed to buy medicine that contains dextromethorphan. That includes medicines like Robitussin and NyQuil. Those products are easily accessible right now.
It's available at every pharmacy, at every convenience store, so access is virtually unlimited.
The drug is designed as a cough suppressant, but when it's abused, it can affect your mind.
But when taken in large doses, it creates a feeling of euphoria, some hallucinations, vivid imagination.
The new law requires anyone buying medicine with dextromethorphan to show ID, to sign a document saying they're 18 or older, and they can't have more than a gram of dextromethorphan on them.
You know, for us to have to check an ID for someone to purchase it is okay. It's an extra step in the process, but if that extra step creates some safety among the minors, then I think it's a step that's worth taking.
In Lexington, Sam Smith, WKYT.
Under the new law, anyone caught with more than a gram of dextromethorphan could be fined $1,000 for the first offense and $2,500 for following violations. Tonight, Lexington police need help finding a man who tried to rob a bank.
He didn't get anything, but he still caused quite a bit of damage. It happened around 1 this afternoon at the People's Exchange Bank on Richmond Road. Lexington police say a man with a bandana over his face tried to walk in the front door, but it was locked. So they say he grabbed a potted plant and used it to break the glass in the door. But they say he then ran off. People who live nearby say the bank has been a target before.
No, I'm not surprised. They did this a little over a year ago. Apparently it's easy pickings. They learned they could do it once, they've tried it again.
No one was injured. No one from the bank wanted to talk about the attempted robbery.
Thanks to some help from search and rescue crews, a missing dog is back with her owner tonight. A 12-year-old English setter named Maddie ran off last night after her owner stopped at a Powell County gas station on the way home to Indiana. Powell County search and rescue team was called to help, but they didn't have any luck. The team did post Maddie's photo on Facebook, and this morning someone replied saying Maddie showed up at a home last night. The owner says she's grateful for all the help.
But it was just like, I don't know, relief, and I just started crying because I just felt so like happy. I was just worried about her.
The home where Maddie was found is a little less than a mile from where she went missing. Search and rescue team members say this is the second dog they've helped locate this year.